Cattlemen and women know the importance of building a solid animal health protocol. Parasite control is one of the best ways producers can keep cattle healthy and productive. For more on the benefits of parasite control, Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter has the story.
In northeast Missouri, Charles Swiger has been working the land and raising cattle at Swiger Farms for over 30 years.
You know, I guess you'd say that we was in the Hereford business for, my grandfather started the Hereford business back in, I think in 29, and we've had horned Hereford and then went to polled Hereford in the early 90s and bought our first Angus cows in 94, and that's kind of where we started from.
To find new ways to improve the herd health on his operation, Swiger has worked with his veterinarian, Dr. Hunt Tainer. The two have searched for animal health products that will ultimately increase the operation's return on investment.
So Charles and I have been working together for, probably 12 to 14 years. They run a registered Angus Hereford as well as a commercial herd. Ultimately, we got started AIing cows here, preg checking for them, and we've just tried to get a little bit more aggressive with management each year as we've gone.
As it is in many areas of the country, pasture availability in Missouri can be a challenge for cattle producers. To make the most of the acres that are available for grazing, parasite control is critical.
So I think in Missouri, especially today with ground being hard to come by, people oftentimes overgraze or overstock their pastures. I think parasites are costing most cow-calf producers in the spring a tremendous amount of money, more than we realize. That's been a hard thing to get people to change. They've typically, if they're going out to grass right now in early to mid-April, they want to deworm them and be finished. Up until this point, there have been no products available that had any sustained release or long-acting effect. So we still had an open window where parasites could be costing us money in the long term.
In search of season-long parasite control, Dr. Tainer and Charles used long range on a cow herd during last year's grazing season. The results they saw after using long range were substantial.
So it was early June when we gave the cows long range, recorded the weights on the calves when they came through the chute. They're already sorted in their respective pastures. Gave long-range cows and calves, and 114 days later, when we weaned, we reweighed. They were all in the same group and tallied up the difference in average daily gains in them, and were pleasantly surprised with the results. It really wasn't until at night that we ran the data and saw that we had a difference in average daily gain in the long-range cattle. So that's really where the meat of it is. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of money on the table there.
Of course, this year, we used long range, and was really sold on it so far, and felt like it was, money well spent, so to speak. We're going to do it on everything this time for sure. I figured that, that the advantage of it is the extra pounds on the calves, and at $2 a pound, it just adds up. To me, it's worth it, because I know it's going to pay.
Since long range is labeled for parasite control for up to 100 to 150 days, the cattle are protected for the entire grazing season. Dr. Tainer notes that the extended duration of long range means producers only have to treat once in the spring for parasites, a labor savings that all producers can appreciate.
To me, the hard part in the past has always been getting clients to bring the cattle up in June, deworm. Much more convenient now that we've got a product like long range. We can go back to deworming at turnout in April and May and get season-long control, whereas before, either cattle were getting done right at turnout or they're having to bring them back up later, and they weren't getting the full effect of parasite control.
Well, it's a lot less handling of the cattle. I mean, it's just less trips through the chute. It all takes time and labor and dollars. We've had times when winter we've had to bring cattle in and retreat, before grass time, and we haven't seen anything like that this time.
After seeing success with the product themselves, both Swiger and Dr. Tainer encourage other beef producers to try long range on their own operation.
Try it. Just try it. Personally, I think they'll see the difference whether they weigh the calves or whether they don't weigh the calves. I think they'll see the difference in the cow and the performance, of the cows.
I think every producer owes it to themselves to have a control group and a treatment group, a group that they use long range on, because there's so many environmental differences from year to year. Just taking one year's weaning weight versus the previous year's is hard to really compare. So I do think everybody owes it to themselves. They owe it to themselves to at least do a group. Parasites are robbing pounds of growth off these calves, and at today's market at $2 a pound plus, it's costing a tremendous amount of money. So what an opportune time to take advantage of the money left on the table with the long-acting product.
To me, it's pretty simple because, you know, if you're going to have pounds at $2 a pound, it don't cost that much to treat, you know. Besides, I think the cattle are in better shape and better condition.
With season-long parasite control with long range throughout the herd, calves grow faster and profitability increases, something all producers are looking for. Reporting from Northeast Missouri, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Here is some important safety information. Do not treat within 48 days of slaughter. Not for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows or in veal calves. Post-injection site damage can occur. These reactions have disappeared without treatment. Find out more at the website, thelongrangelook.com.